and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kasey and you're watching TheChowDown. This is my very first video of the new year. I took a quick hiatus after the holidays just to relax and enjoy my time off from making videos and from school. But I am back now and I decided to try something a little different, obviously. I decided to do a vlog style video today and I am doing a meal prep video. This is kind of going along with my New Year's resolution, which is to eat healthier. Could have guessed that one. This is my third week of doing meal prep, so I figured I would film it and show you what I'm making for the week and hopefully give you some ideas if you are trying to eat healthy in the new year. So we will go into my kitchen. Sorry if the lighting is all crazy and funky. It is nighttime. Just to let you know what I made last week. There's all my subscription boxes back there. But just to let you know what I made the past couple weeks, I made the first week of my meal prep. I made a spaghetti squash. I also made stuffed peppers, which had some ground turkey in it and some corn, canned tomato, and I just stuffed that into peppers and put just a little bit of cheese and baked them. And then I also did these like DIY Starbucks bento boxes with some vegetables and fruit and hard-boiled eggs, which I really liked, and I kind of want to do a video on those, so keep an eye out for that. And then last week I made teriyaki chicken that I just baked in the oven. That was really easy. And then I made a whole bunch of quinoa for the entire week and roasted veggies. I did asparagus, zucchini, and summer squash. And then I also did just some sauteed shrimp in like some garlic and white wine as my other protein. And then I'll show you what I'm making this week. Okay, so I have everything set up for the first main dish that I'm going to make for this week, and that is Ratatouille Pasta. For this recipe, I'm using brown rice pasta, so I just have these vegetable spirals from Tinkinyata, I don't know how to say that, but something like that. And then we have eggplant, garlic, onion, zucchini, just a half a zucchini that I had left over, a summer squash, and then I'm going to make a homemade sauce with some tomato paste, crushed tomatoes, and fresh basil. And then I'm also making a coconut lime chicken. So I just have some chicken tenders, I have crushed red pepper, coconut milk, lime, I'm gonna use the juice from the limes and probably some of the zest, cilantro, and I'm gonna serve it with rice. Your girl loves rice, so I got the mother load here. And then also with this, I think onion goes into it and some chicken stock to make the sauce. So I'm actually gonna make this second. And then I'm also making, because I find it super easy to make, this is one of my go-tos, I'm making spaghetti squash again. So all I do for this is cut my spaghetti squash in half. Believe it or not, this is the smallest one that was at the grocery store. So this is massive, but I basically just cut it in half. I core out or take out all the seeds on the inside. I rub some oil on it and sprinkle it with salt and pepper. And I'm just gonna throw this in a 400-degree oven. I don't really know for how long. It really depends on how big your squash is. The way I determine if it's done is if I just scrape it with a fork, and if it starts to pull apart into like little strings of spaghetti, then I know it's done pretty much. I would say like this one's probably going to need at least 40 minutes. So I'm just gonna pop it in now since it's going to need a lot of time and it's the only thing that I'm throwing in the oven. Oh my God, that's heavy. So I'm just gonna throw it in there and kind of just let it do its thing. And then in the meantime, I have my pasta water on the stove getting ready to boil. My stove takes forever to boil water, so I just have that going already. I'm also going to make some hard-boiled eggs. I have 8 in here, so I'm going to have 2 for breakfast every day. It's Monday today, so I only need enough for 4 days for the rest of the week. What am I doing? I want it on high. What I do with my hard-boiled eggs is I put the eggs on the bottom, I fill it just to the top of the eggs with water, and I turn it on high and I let it come to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, I turn it off. I cover the pot and I let it sit for 15 minutes, and then I drain the water and rinse my eggs with cold water, and that helps make it easier to peel. So I have those going, and then in this back pot I'm going to start my vegetables and my sauce for my ratatouille pasta once I have all of my vegetables prepared. Alright, so far I've added my onion and garlic to my pan with just a little bit of oil over medium heat. And I'm just going to cook this for a couple minutes until my onions are translucent and I can smell my garlic and it's nice and fragrant. And then I'll go ahead and add the rest of my vegetables. Alright, my onions are translucent, so I'm adding the rest of my veggies. I don't know if I need all these. There's a lot of liquid in zucchini and eggplant, so these will definitely shrink down. I'm just going to go ahead and add everything. I'm going to have a really chunky sauce, but I'm okay with that. I want lots of veggies in my pasta. My pasta water is boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta. Okay, so my vegetables have been cooking for about 5 minutes and they're getting soft. My eggplant's getting brown and I don't know how to prevent that. So if anyone knows how to prevent your eggplant from getting all brown like that, let me know in the comments. But I'm going to go ahead and add my entire can of crushed tomatoes. This is a 28-ounce can. I'm also going to add, I think, 2 spoonfuls of tomato paste. I'll see what that looks like. And I'm gonna let this simmer for about 15 minutes, and I'm not gonna season until the very end. So my pasta is al dente, so I just turned off the heat and I'm going to save about a 1/4 cup of the pasta water to add to my sauce at the end to help bind it. And I'm just going to strain my pasta. So then I just returned my pasta to the pot and added a little bit of oil to prevent it from sticking. And I just realized this isn't a full pound of pasta. It's like, I don't even know. I wonder if it's even half a pound, but I have a lot of sauce compared to my pasta. But I also have a lot of veggies, so that kind of beefs it up. So I think it'll be all right. So after 15 minutes, I drained the water from my eggs and I rinsed them under cold water for about 30 seconds. This helps cool them down, stop the cooking process, and also helps you peel them later on. And I just put them in this container, and basically what I'll do each morning is just grab 2 and put them in a plastic bag, and I'll bring them for my breakfast. I usually just eat them as is, or sometimes I will mash it up with some avocado and put it on toast. But basically that's my breakfast set for the next 4 days. And my sauce has been simmering also for about 15 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and season it now and just kind of finish it off. Yum! Oh, that looks so good. So basically to finish off the sauce, I'm going to add a little bit of pasta water. This is gonna help thin it out a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna turn it up too, just a little bit. This will help thin it out a little bit and bind the sauce, give it a little bit of body from the starchy water. Normally, I would add like a half a stick of butter at this point to give it like a nice creamy finish, but we on a diet, so we're not doing that today. But I am going to add some salt and pepper. I'm also just going to add some generic Italian seasoning. Let that simmer for a couple more minutes, and then at the very, very end, I'm going to add some fresh basil. You want to make sure you add all your fresh herbs at the very end. Since they're very delicate, you don't want them to be like massacred by the cooking process. Now I'm going to just add my fresh basil, and I'm just going to tear it, and this already smells so amazing. Holy moly. All right, and I'm just gonna stir that in. If I have like a crazy amount, I might save some for my spaghetti squash. I'll literally have a squash sauce on spaghetti squash, but whatever. Gonna add this to my pasta. Oh gosh. All right, let's see what that looks like. Amazing. So that's what my pasta looks like. I think that looks really good. Nice and colorful, loads of veggies. Definitely should fill me up. Okay, now I'm on to recipe number 2. For this recipe, I'm doing coconut lime chicken. And along with that, I'm making some rice, and I'm making 4 servings of rice. So I have 2 cups of water in my pot here. I'm going to let that come to a boil, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of rice. Meanwhile, in my skillet here, I'm just heating up some oil on medium-high heat. Gonna let that get nice and hot and shimmery, and then I'm going to add my chicken. All right, I have my chicken salt and peppered, and I'm putting it in. This is really hot, so it's gonna sizzle. Woo! Actually, not bad. You want a really hot pan though, so this is perfect. So I just cooked the chicken a couple minutes on each side until it was brown. I didn't worry about it cooking all the way through because it's going to cook once you put it back in the sauce. In the same pan, I just lowered the heat to like low, like 2 or 3. And I'm going to add my onions. And I'm going to saute those for a couple minutes. So at the very last minute, I decided to add some fresh ginger, because I have it on hand and I absolutely love ginger. And I think it will go really well with this dish. So I'm just going to saute that for a couple minutes. I'm also going to add my chili flakes, and since this is just a flavoring agent, this is completely up to you how much you want to add the chili flakes or the crushed red pepper, whatever, either one. You can also use fresh whole chili, but I'm not a huge fan of spice. So I decided to omit that and just stick with the chili flakes. All right, now that that's cooked down, I'm adding 1 cup of chicken stock. This is the base of my sauce. I'm also going to add the juice of 1 lime, and I'm going to just use a fork to help me get the juice out. You want to bring this to a simmer, so I'm just going to crank this up to medium-high heat. And once it comes to a simmer, I'm going to let it simmer for about 5 minutes. All right, now that that's been simmering for about 5 minutes, I'm adding about 3/4 of a cup of coconut milk. Let that come back up to a simmer. Now that that's boiling, I'm adding my chicken back to my pan, and I'm going to let everything simmer together for about 15 minutes to finish cooking the chicken and so my sauce can reduce. And I'm just gonna cover it and put it a little lower so it's not like a full-on boil, but like a simmer. Meanwhile, my spaghetti squash is out of the oven, and you can see it is good to go. I'm going to let it cool, and then I'm going to wrap them up in aluminum foil just as they are, and then I will scrape them out of their little skin when I'm actually ready to eat them. That way I don't waste containers. Okay, so my coconut lime chicken is done. So if after like 20 minutes of simmering, your sauce is still a little runny, you can make a cornstarch slurry, which is just a little bit, like a teaspoon of cornstarch and a teaspoon of water, stir it together, pour it in and let it simmer. Or you can also use arrowroot starch. I think that's for like paleo or like Whole30 if you're doing that diet. I didn't have either, so I just used some brown rice flour so I could still keep it gluten-free. And it thickened up really nicely. This is like the consistency I have, and it smells amazing. I don't know why I was like so surprised by the smell after I took the lid off like the first time to check on it, but it smells amazing. And I'm really happy this is everything. So I'm just gonna put everything in my containers and then I'll be back. All right guys, we're all done. That took me about 2 hours and 15 minutes to do with filming. So a little bit of time, but I am done cooking for the rest of the week, so that feels amazing. And look at what we have here. Oh my goodness. This looks so good. Don't mind the dishes. They still need to get done. But look at everything we have all laid out here. This is all that I prepped today. Yeah, so we have the Ratatouille Pasta. I think this came out really good. I have taken a bite and it's delicious. And then here is our coconut lime chicken. And I just drizzled the sauce over the rice so it absorbs into the rice. Usually with my lunch, I'll also bring a snack. So I have some bananas and an apple. So I'll probably bring fruit for the entire week. I think that's everything. I have a lot of stuff to clean up. I don't want to clean. I hate cleaning. I love cooking. I love cooking. It's very therapeutic for me, but I hate cleaning up. I mean, who likes cleaning? I don't know. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. It is a little different than my other videos since it's like vlog style and I'm still getting used to this, so just bear with me a little bit. I hope the lighting wasn't too horrible, but I hope it gave you some inspiration, some ideas for meal prep if you are trying to eat a little healthier this year. I guess this is a little bit of a carby meal prep. I do have rice and pasta, but the pasta is gluten-free and it's vegetable pasta, so that's a little bit better. And I guess you could substitute the rice for brown rice or quinoa or couscous if you wanted to go really healthy, but I'm not like super strict with rice. I love rice. But let me know if you have any questions on anything I made today or anything about like meal prepping or anything. I mean, I'm still learning and I'm still figuring this out, so I'm by no means an expert, but I'm definitely trying. But make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.